So the big question that a lot of you may ask is, okay, I've asked for my accommodation and they turned me down. I've asked for my accommodation and they gave it to me reluctantly, and they've given me, as the woman who just asked the question, they've given me a hard time about it, or they've made me feel uncomfortable. Or my supervisor is now watching me like a hawk and writing me up for every single thing. What do I do? Well, there are different things that you can do, and to a certain extent, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to rely a little bit on common sense, because when all is said and done, let's face it, unless they've fired you, you still have to go back to work every day, and it still has to be somewhat of a comfortable situation for you. So among the things that you can do, if it's your supervisor that's the problem, you can certainly complain to Human Resources. And in particular, with respect to harassment, which was the next area of topic that we were going to talk about, if you feel that it's a harassment situation or a retaliation situation where where someone is acting in a certain way towards you because of your religion or because of what you had asked for an accommodation, then the first step in the process has to be complaining about it internally. Almost every employer today, certainly the larger ones, absolutely the hospitals and nursing homes, etc., have an employee handbook. Every employee handbook that I've ever looked at in the past 20 years has had a complaint procedure for if you feel that you're being discriminated against or harassed. You have to follow that procedure. If you're not going to follow that procedure, you're not going to be able to do anything about it down the road. Why is that? Because the first thing your employer is going to say is, I didn't know about that. No one told me about that. Or maybe they told, maybe she told a coworker, or maybe he told, some low-level supervisor, but never told Human Resources. And so, therefore, you have to complain about it. And everyone is reluctant to do it because they're afraid how it'll be perceived and what their file will look at. But when all is said and done, if you're not prepared to at least take that first step of complaining internally to Human Resources, there's not a whole lot you're going to be able to do about it after the fact. What do I mean after the fact? If, for whatever reason, you were just let go, and I hope that's not any of you in this room, but if you have a friend that this happened to, and maybe you were let go as part of a layoff, or maybe you were let go individually, and now you feel, I think that had something to do with my religion. I think that had something to do with my complaints about harassment or my request for accommodation. Well, if you want to take that next step, and whether it's try to have a better negotiating standpoint for a better severance package, or whether it's proceed with legal action, you need to have complained internally. And, in my professional opinion, do it in writing, because anybody can say, oh, well, I didn't think much of it. They just mentioned it casually, in the hallway on the way to the water cooler, or they mentioned it in the kitchen while getting their lunch. So it should be in writing, and you should keep a copy of the writing because things disappear. So I urge you to do that. Do it in writing, keep a copy for yourself, and hopefully it'll help you down the road.